There we go. Well, it seems to have happened again. I think I'll make my own settings just in case. I know Veer does for their own streams. Alrighty. Hello. Welcome to the stream. This is the Resonite Art Team office hours. I am Aegis Wolf of the Resonite Art Team. Here in, right now, the regular main build. Probably the, probably the last stream I'll be doing in this build, most likely. Figured just stream on this version. I see some folks in the chat. Welcome to the stream, Baplar. I'm just in the cloud home at the moment, on the balcony, knee deep in localization trenches. Yeah, you're welcome. That is a lot of localization to do with the help tab. Yeah, but that helps out a lot for new users and, well, any existing user already in Resonite. Because that's what that help tab is used for. Some things I'll showcase during this stream, but gonna give it a bit for folks to hop in. This stream better be seeing the title. It was supposed to be. Let's see. Live now. Okay, good. I can't hear myself. Good. Mm. For those just tuning in or watching the VOD, let me kind of go over a brief overview of the help tab. Recommend checking out some of the other videos as well for more information, but essentially a new tab in your dashboard that will basically have information, tutorials, and resources for new and existing users within Resonite. And right now it's in the stage of folks in the community pitching in to help translate it into other languages. So we have a system of having people in the community help contribute translations to like different uh, localizations of like strings or text within Resonite. Things from like your menus to like the tools to, well, the help tab. Last night, Raivi and I have been busy going through Worlds Rue as well, updating them, kind of like going through second to last pass, going through all the worlds, cleaning up things, organizing the route, getting things ready for whenever the splitting occurs. And just before the splitting, we'll be doing our reflection probe and lighting pass, as well as just the final touches. The also last night too, I had to go through and basically re-encode or convert every single video within the help tab to work properly because it was using a more newer encoding of video called AV1, and some systems or some operating systems don't like it. So yeah, I went through and re-encoded every single one to H.264. It didn't take long, although I put my computer through hell with it by basically taking all the videos and dragging it, dropping it into a queue in a program called Handbrake. It's a video encoding software that pretty much the film industry uses. It's pretty good. It's free. Its icon is like a pineapple. What is even in the icon of the program? Oh, it's just a pineapple and a martini. I see. That makes sense. And I I'm not sure if it's like updated or not entirely. So maybe some of the videos weren't converted, but the ones that I've made that are like newer have been converted. And I'm not sure it has been pushed out yet to the refreshing of the facet, but yeah. And for those tuning in, this is also technically a Q&A, so if anybody has any questions about Resonite, about what the art team's up to, about splitting, I can basically either answer as best as I can or direct you to the appropriate resources. If you type in chat and end your question in a question mark, it will pop up on the chat right here, in this area right here. Actually, I think I'll just leave a copy of chat up there. And then I will spawn a new one out in front of me. I don't know if duplicating it breaks it. Twitch chat, there we go. Oh good, Frux is going to be bumping the version of it soon. Today and tomorrow is going to be busy. Oh, we got a question from Bappler. The current fetch locale is on the fence about translation of contact. Half of it is contact, half of it's Ami, friend. I need to make a decision and choose a side to harmonize everything. Your opinion? So, to kind of give context of the reason behind we name it contacts instead of friends, think of it as a phone book or your contacts in your phone. If there's like terminology in French for that kind of context, that would make more sense. Because if you have friends, like other platforms would have like friends, even though technically not everyone on your contacts list is your friend. I have people that are business partners on my contacts list, people who I work with, people who are friends, people who are family, etc. Imagine being able to eventually organize your contacts list to be different groups. Say like you're in a specific group about like a game, and then like a D&D group, and then you can kind of organize the contacts around there, organize the contacts around like say a team you work with on a game or so. Yeah, yeah. And Grand UK, welcome to the stream. And I see you're also asking about if I were a bird, what would I be? Or if you could be a bird, which bird would you be? That is a good question. Technically, my armor has eagle feathers on it. And I don't think it's like a bald eagle, but like one of those like brown eagles. Maybe one of those. I would have pretty good vision. Ah, thank you for the subscription, Paplar. There we go. Well, what shall I cover first? Okay, so, there we go. So, not only that we were working on the help tab, the worlds, and pretty much like anything left for the splitting, I went through and noticed that there were some old legacy badges that needed to be updated. One of them, for example, is the headless server badge that already technically has been made. Right, he's gonna be pushing a PR to or pull request to update it to the like little server icon that Chroma made a while ago. There's also, uh, of course, the year badges. Went through and redesigned those. I should have brought those in right now. Mm. Actually, better yet, I could just bring in the help tab and we can see all the badges. I also see question the that in regards to the badges from Ace on Twitch. Also, I'm working on new badges, but okay, I should probably bring these out. I gotta get into the habit of that. All right. Um, some work on the new badges, by the way. Do you have a thought of what the last two yearly badges might look like? So, if you're talking about like 2024 and this year 2025, not sure yet, but we might do something different than like the ones that I was doing. I just wanted to do at least up to year one of Resonite, and then we can probably figure out some kind of system that we can do for like the yearly badges if we ever want to do something like that. Figured at least for sure do like a year one Resonite badge. It'll be pretty cool. And yeah, something that isn't as boring as like the number of the year or whatnot. Maybe something neat that also somehow corresponds to it. But yeah. Let me open up the help tab here and go to about. I know I don't have the locale strings here, but at least we can be able to see the badges. Actually, first off, I'm gonna quickly show off the new headless badge. It's just like a little server icon. And then let's go to your account badges. We got the current bread day, which is the day you signed or you like got your account made, as well as the potato badge and the mysterious fruit badges. Fun fact, all the fruit badges and potato badge are all made out of gloopy bulbs, like the little bulbs of our logo, kind of like scaled, rotated, flattened, or stretched, depending on what it is, to make each and every one of those badges specifically. The other badges, though, are made from scratch. And then, last but not least, the yearly badges that form a wonderful gradient going across the entire page, starting from 2017 all the way to 2023. That's what the year one badge will look like. Oh, also, since we're here, if those are, if people are interested in helping out translating the help tab or anything else within Resonite in regards of locale, you do get a badge. It's this red one right here. And I do see another question from Baplar related to the help tab. Now, regards to this, I know there were some GitHub issues that were listed as content issues, but there are some code related bugs of UIX. We just pretty much made it so that once the bugs are fixed, it'll work properly. Like not only there's like the little flickering, but there's also like some masking issues. So yeah, if I recall, if you or others have noticed your GitHub issue changed, that's because like Ryuvi took a look at it and found out that they were code related, not content related. I even created a content related GitHub issue for post splitting update, which is to add the launch arguments as like a list that you can access in here to like look through. It's already on the wiki right now, but it'll be handy just like how we got all the commands and like the or string parsing or real rich text formatting and stuff like that. And for those not familiar with the launch commands or launch arguments, basically it's like settings that you can put under a program to launch a certain way. Like, for example, there's a way to force Resonite to run in desktop mode by if you create a new shortcut of the exe of Resonite, and then after like the name of the path it leads to, you add a space and an minus sign and or dash, and then you type in screen. Doesn't have to be capital or lowercase, but if you type in screen, it'll force it to run on desktop. And there's another one where, say, it will ignore your Cloud Home every time you load in. There's another one that will reset your dash. Lots of different ones, for example. Those are just a few, for example. And having it there in game is quite helpful too, I think. Because, like, you can technically run two instances of Resonite at once. Like, yesterday, I still need to get some pictures of. Actually, I'm not sure if I actually did already. I don't think I even need to do this because I think I'll just have to check my screenshots, but I made a test account for Resonite just so that I can take pictures of the default dashboard so that, well, people can see like what a default dashboard can be and what it looks like. I have the perfect name for it as well. Let's see if I can get the yes. Yeah, the perfect name for it. But yeah, going through it, every single one in desktop, taking a screenshot of it, or screenshots, depending on what it is. Oh yeah, we do have a context, or was it the? Oh yeah, some of them don't really require like a screenshot because it kind of has like different categories. Like the session has like 3 pages. You got the session settings, the users, and the permissions, and a lot of that stuff is kind of self-explanatory. So Same with like the actual settings as well. But I do remember taking pictures of them as we need them for the actual tutorial world. That'll just have a blurb before, like a pop-up before you go to the teleporter at the end. That'll show you, hey, your dashboard exists. You can check it out to learn more about Resonite and to explore it, to, change your settings, etc., and how to open it and close it. So, other than that, I don't think really there is anything else other than the Reflection Pro Pass because we're doing that last because of some of the bugs that are in this build and in the current build of the splitting that are being worked on. One of them was fixed though, which was the baking bug. But there's still a couple more. There is a system that Rue made that he showcased a few streams ago, which is like a reflection probe system that connects to the lighting of the world, and it changes it depending on where you are, and kind of like changes that global light depending on where you are. If you're like in a cave or in a room, or if a large light turns on, the global light will change, not just the reflection probe. You didn't want to add the. Okay. I don't know exactly what you're talking about, but Applar asks, you didn't want to add the overheating bright orbs of light in the final version? Um, well, that already got patched out, and if uh, somebody probably could somehow figure out how to do that manually, but overblowing the lights, I don't think it's good for the eyes. Though, if you don't want to, if anyone has that bug still, and they're testing out the splitting, it's recommended to clear your cache, or at that point, like uninstall and reinstall Resonite at that point to clear it. Mm. Let's see here. I did notice there's like, oh yeah, you said Appler earlier. There's 3 active Resonite streams, and I'm just curious. I know one of them is Decoy the bird as well. Hello, Decoy, if you're watching. Though I have a feeling they might raid, they might not, depending on when theirs ends. I do have definitely something I want to showcase on stream as well. Next, figured I'd get this too. This is something I've been working on the side in regards of like personal projects, but also technically something that everyone can use. I've already showcased this before. It now looks different because it actually has a model. It's the asset placement tool. This thing basically is used if you want to, say, place a whole bunch of assets in a world like the plants around here, or props, or rocks, etc. So it's already set up to work with like the multi-tool and everything, fancy animations, sound effects, and a fancy UI. I've already showcased a lot of the features of this, but to kind of go over it again, got like ways to set what kind of assets you want to use, to kind of like rename them or tag them, and even cycle through each individual asset in like a asset pool, just like a whole collection of assets. in a list. And this little hatch that opens up. So if I take this orb out, this right here is something I created as well to go with it. It's a asset pool orb. Now it snaps into place, has the same sound as like the mesh and material tool. Now if I click on it, has this little grid. It might not be as easy to see on desktop here, but what this is, it's a grabbable receiver surface. So what this does, if I say I make uh, I don't know, a box, for example. Actually, no, capsule this time. So I make something like this, just an object, say it's a tree or something. I put it on there. It's attached to it, right? And I click it again. It just hides it, and then it's within here. Now there's a checkbox on here that says use asset or use slot orb asset pool. And what that does is if this thing has one of these in it, it'll use the assets within there. Now, right here it says capsule because it already actually reads it, and then I can cycle through it. I'm going to use a different set. I just made one that is full of primitive objects, and then I'm going to swap this out here. I accidentally grabbed this umbrella here. There we go. Now I can actually cycle through each individual asset. Now, did it just not update or what? Okay. I think I'll have to add some sort of continuous relay somewhere to update it, but I think it's probably best if I go to smooth POV on this one. Alright, so I can cycle through each individual asset here, and then if, say you don't have one, there's a fallback asset pool built in, has some test objects in here, and you can name and tag each individual one. Also gonna add a smoother to this as well. I'm pretty much in a polish phase of this tool. You can also set if you want to use random assets from there, so it picks from a random pool from all of them, or if you have it unchecked, it uses the specific one you have selected. And then you can specify an asset pool right here if you want. Unless if you have this checked, it will ignore whatever's in here. If there's nothing in here, it uses the built-in one. And when you place objects, it puts them in an asset container. This asset container is basically just something that puts all whatever you place around in a folder automatically. Now you can name it, you can tag it, or you can specify a slot that you can put it under. If this is empty, then it just falls back to creating a custom one. Now if I go to the placement settings here, actually I can showcase the little container here so I can delete these toruses right here. Placed asset container, gone. They're all under there. Now, if I go, I'm gonna turn off that so I can place smaller cones. There we go. Now it's selecting random colored ones. I can change like where the placement point is at. For example, this one is off of my head position or rotation. I can also place objects using my eyes. I just accidentally, oh, I accidentally sit in a chair here. Oops. So I can start placing things all over chat and stack things on top of each other. Yeah. Turn that off. There we go. There we go. This one follows the laser. Was the off hand rotation working? This one always has an issue somehow. This is supposed to be working off of your other hand every time, even with like uh, continuous relays. It still just doesn't want to work. I don't know why. I just realized I have to update this thing even more than I thought I could or need to. Alright, this right here is like a placement volume or area in this case. Now it'll place the objects within that area. I had like one of those brush adjustment rings around here. I may have either have deleted it or hidden it somewhere where it's like you can adjust it like a brush. Also, welcome to the stream, Amela. I have several different shapes here. Here's a cone, but like here's one of the adjustment kind of UIs here. I can change the volume of what it is. Say this sphere here, or this rectangle pops open this square shaped UI, and I can drag this to increase its size or decrease it. I also got this little uh, checkbox here that says shell placement. Now it's doing on the edges of the square, the surface of the sphere, surface of the cone, the outer ring of the circle, and for example, say the box, it does the surface of the box. If I turn this off, it does the volume of it. This one actually spawns a cube for like adjusting it. Now this does position. You also got like adjustments here, so yeah, not only you'll have them on the tool, but you can also adjust things and parameters within this menu. You also got rotation settings. Say if you want the like a random rotation of sorts, if you want to change like its min and max. Same with the scale. Want to change it to be uniform scale or non-uniform scale. It's all there. That pretty much covers this tool. The only few things left are, well, those oversights that I just realized in stream, as well as the thumbnail for it, and then setting up good defaults and fixing that one pesky bug that always appears. Somehow, it haunts me to this day. Kind of clean up here a bit. Although I'm not gonna be saving this version of the Cloud Home. I already went through with Ravi yesterday and updated that. It does have a name to answer Amelia Faust's question. So what's that tool is going to be called? So if I open this up, it is the Asset Painter tool. Wait, is that? Oh, that's the test primitives. Okay, there we go. Now you can actually see it. That little letter I and followed by 4 digits, that's just the iteration number. I'm going to be moving that into the inside of it once it's pretty much released. Well, that's how I internally do versioning for a lot of the stuff. Eventually, versioning will be much easier once we have things like actual prefab or like prefab system where, say, if you update, say, like the default tool, we update it and it gets updated for everyone on the platform that are using the default ones that are in the essentials. Welcome to the stream, Gamer Galaxy. Yes, we be painting trees, clouds, rocks, buildings, etc. It could be anything. You just either manually put stuff in the essentials or just put stuff in here, put it in this asset pool, pop it in the tool, and you can use whatever you put in there. Making an undo manager, though, I just remembered too, is one thing I want to try to explore sometime. It's just difficult because it's constantly like spawning items over and over again using an asynchronous loop. But if like you're placing an object one by one, which is an option in there too, that can easily be made undoable. But I'd rather do the undo and redo options if I find out how to do like the undo batch step or whatnot for all of it. I have accidentally crashed myself once trying to get that working, and I think there may need to be some features implemented in Resonite that don't exist yet in order to make it work. So I think a best case for using this thing in a workflow is you have this, even if the objects are grabbable, that's good. That means if you mess up, you can grab it, move it out of the way, delete it, duplicate it, adjust it right there. If it has all these colliders, you're worried about that. Well, then what you'd pair it with is a slot replacer tool. I know there's one that Rue made in the Essentials, but essentially what it is you take like a parent object, like stuff that all, for example, a lot of trees are under, and then you get the template of something that's new. Say you already stripped all the unnecessary like grabbable components, like deduplicated materials, etc., on an asset, say a tree, and then you use that, and then you use that to replace everything that you placed around in the world. And then you use like a tool that can recursively do that instead of manually going through each and every one by one and do it manually. That's a pain. I've did that before like a couple of times. I don't want to do it again. That's why we have these tools. And that's why also this tool exists because we have some tools that are similar, but like we have to like add things internally to like the tool using like the dev tool, and it takes a bit to set up. This you just either you can still do that, or you could just literally just plop things on this platter here like a plate, and then hide it in, and then pop it in to the tool, and off your way to painting a whole bunch of cubes and stuff. Like here's a screenshot of me testing it in one of my friend's worlds. A whole bunch of pandemonium. Also, hello, Modern. Welcome to the stream. Ah, Blitz. Okay. Welcome to the stream, Blitz. Modern, if you're with Ryuvi, tell them I said hi. I'll probably be joining them after the stream as well to make sure that we have the help tab updated. Brooks didn't know if I like converted all the videos or not yesterday, but we did last night. And I also went through and updated all the badges. Actually, I had to update two of the badges today. Um, Actually, I'll send them to you, Ravy, as well. because I missed a single small piece of both the mango and the orange badge, and that's the little leaf didn't have a gradient on it. I was like, damn, I gotta bake those again. Actually, I could probably even bring in the difference of it. Yeah, there we go. You can see the blueberry badge has like a little yellow to green gradient, but the other two badges just have like a single solid color, so I went and fixed that actually right before the stream. The amount of times I had to go through, kind of like iterate on these. But it was fun to do. I know there's probably some more iterations I'll have to do, but the main thing is getting some of the old ones like back to a consistent style and yeah, making badges that didn't exist yet exist, like those yearly badges. We still got plenty of time to figure out what we're gonna do for the other two badges, but yeah. Ah, we got a question as well from H Ace on Twitch 17. Are you going to be watching the Derg Resonance this Sunday? Probably. I usually probably either work or play a game while watching Fruits. I sometimes possess the Resonite account to say hi. But yeah, I'll definitely tune in. I'm curious on what they're doing. I'm just thinking if there's anything else that like I need to do in the worlds that we're doing other than like the final pass. It's like that kind of like thing. It's like making sure we didn't forget anything. Did I forget anything for like, getting stuff ready for the splitting? I don't, I don't really know other than the stuff that we're gonna for sure do with the final steps. Screenshots of the yeah. Actually, I'm gonna check that right now. Screenshots of the dashboard. So I know I'll need a context page. No, wait, we got the context page. It's the sessions tab, the session settings tab, and the settings tab, regular settings tab. Gosh. Seems I may have to log out and log back in to take pictures of that on the test account, but that's fine. Or I'm looking in the wrong folder. If folks still have questions, please do ask them. Oh, I see. Uh, New question I'll answer right now. Let's see. This is from LJXDro. Is Resonite its own standalone DL, or do I get it from something like Steam? Been meaning to try it out. Well, it is on Steam. Actually, I can open up the helps and resources here. Yeah, if you search in on Steam and look for Resonite, that is where you can find Resonite. It is our Steam page. Now, I think in the description of this Twitch chat below, you'll find both our website and the Steam page and to support us using our subscription. That's if you want to have more storage for items, avatars, and worlds you save within Resonite. And welcome to Resonite. Also, if you're brand new, I do recommend checking out the Discord as well. where a lot of the community is and where you can find information or folks to tune in, join in. And if there's any users that you encounter within Resonite that have the little, actually, I could bring that right now too. The This badge right here, this green light bulb looking one, that is a mentor. That is our mentor program. They're here to help new users and existing users with like learning about Resonite. And you're checking out Resonite. I do want to note Resonite is nearing a milestone update. Currently, we're doing a update cycle of like improving performance and like improving the development kind of like space as well. Because to oh yeah, um, as Babbler says, do not trust anyone who gives you like a Resonite exe from a third-party website. Our website is within the description. You can also find Resonite on Steam. That is where you can find the actual build. Uh, the update that's being happened right now is a large one that separates what we use for rendering, which is the Unity rendering engine, from the underlying game engine underneath called Fruix Engine. And it's a hybrid system where they're being made to communicate better to improve its performance. A lot of it was more intertwined in the past, but now it's more like getting to a point where it's its own thing running for just the visuals and Fruix Engine running like all the logic, all the stuff for like the physics, the networking, and anything visual is just going to the Unity engine, which will allow Fruix Engine to run with more updated and efficient libraries of code as well as code runtime. Oh no, your performance will be greatly improved once the quote unquote splittening comes out, as Fruix calls it. Now, most likely, it'll be coming out soon, TM. Ah, now that is a good question. Although, if you put a question mark at the end of your question, it will pop up on the right hand side of this Twitch chat. But I do know that you asked a question there. So, is importing an avatar hard? That is a good question to ask for me, because there's multiple ways to set up an avatar within Resonite. Don't worry. A, it's pretty much the same kind of process you would within, say, uploading it to Unity or any kind of like game engine. You upload the raw assets within Resonite, or if it's a popular, say, like an avatar base, someone made like a neat avatar base and they make what is called a Resonite package. Now, what that does, you can literally drag and drop that Resonite package that you can download, say if they include it in their files when you buy the avatar, onto Resonite, because you can drag and drop files directly into Resonite, and then say I drag and drop the Resonite package, boom, there's the avatar ready for you. And you can edit that avatar to say add your own textures, like coding like custom things onto it, or change like the behavior of it, or add like face and eye tracking. Like if it has the blend shapes for it, you can just set it up, or it might already be set up for it too. We do have face and eye tracking support. I'm wearing that headset that does it right now. Uh, yeah. As mentioned before, there are mentors within the community that can help you to guide you through updating or importing your avatar, going through the process. I can, for example, earlier this stream, I did drag and drop like an image, for example. I can do it again. Like I can go into my desktop, drag an image file, and it'll pop up like a thing like this. For example, audio files, video files, font files, models, text files, PDFs even work in here too. So, and I can just click import. I got my image. If you wanted to share a YouTube video in here, you can just copy the link, paste it in here. Even this stream right now, you can take the link, paste it into a world, and watch it right there. And technically, it'll count all the users within that world as viewers to that stream. How cool is that? As well as you can, for example, with Twitch, you can use it to have commands in here. But yeah, I think I might be going a little off topic, but there's a lot you can do, and there's a lot of people within this community that want to help new users and help each other with projects, anything. And you don't have to build things in here to experience it. That's one thing that people get confused to. You don't have to be a builder, you don't have to, be a coder. You can just hang out. You can play games that people have made already in here. And then you could probably have people help you and if you're not like knowledgeable, it's like hanging out at your friend's garage. They have all these interesting tools that you don't know how to use, but you're watching them like wrench at a, I don't know, a motorcycle or something, and then you're just hanging out talking. Like you can take, I don't know, a screwdriver and you can go inside a different room of your house. It's not like stuck at a garage. You don't have to go to a specific program to edit things in Resonite. It is the program. It's like Gmod where you can like spawn things out from an inventory. People also compare it to Second Life. I also compare it to Halo's Forge mode where you can edit and test things at the same time and also mess around at the same time too. Yeah, it's pretty cool that you're gonna check it out. Welcome to Resonite. And I am not sure when the splitting will come out. Yeah, there, as Amelia Faust says, definitely a lot of folks from Second Life, as well as a lot of folks from Gmod as well, and folks from VR Chat, folks from the Anyland, lots of different folks. I have a dev tool parented in my head. Oh, that is that's a little compass. I started making like a heads up display. It may be very faint to see, but there's like a white border around it. And I didn't really have time to really work on more of it. The only two things I have on it is this little compass, which is also on the main dev tool here. It always points to north. Also, my eye tracking is also weird. Okay, it always points to the Z forward, no matter which direction. It's like those compasses in water, like what you would see in a plane or a ship. But the other thing that I have other than that compass is a user join and leave indicator that Modern programmed. I just implemented it into my heads-up display. Shout out to Modern for that one. It pops up a text every time someone joins and leaves, and that's that. Yeah, I know about that bug, or not really that bug, but that mistake. Either you made it modern or you helped make it. I don't quite remember. I do know. Seeing Lucas's comment about render transform override, that is a good idea to do because you can stack them all. If folks aren't unfamiliar with what a render transform override is, it's simply a thing that hides a certain part or scales a certain part of your avatar or an object depending on what's rendering it, whether it be a camera, my viewpoint, a mirror, a, yeah, or other folks, other people seeing me. For example, if you have like hair in a way, in my case, I barely have any, so I don't have it on me. Say you don't want to see like your nose or anything in your face, you can hide it locally by attaching it to your user. So, for example, it already is on me. It is a. Oh wait, that's a. Yeah, it's right underneath it. I was looking at the wrong one, but yeah, that in particular basically changes part of the model or bones. Yeah, depending on what context it's excluding. Ah, to go over Bablar's question. Let's see here. Aegis question about VR gestures. Many of them mentioned needing to bring the controllers close to your head. I thought that was only needed for the emergency respawn slash exit ones, but it's also mentioned for stuff like toggling edit mode and opening the dash. Is that correct or a copy paste mistake? That is actually correct. So I accidentally sat in the chair again. Um, so kind of go over a brief overview of what these VR gestures are. Originally, they started being a thing when the Vive wands were the like pretty much one of the only things. Same with like the original Oculus Rift. Well, the Oculus Rift got more buttons to work with, but the Vive wand it doesn't really have that much input on it. So by putting your controller near your head and pressing like the radio menu will toggle the dashboard, opening and closing. It even works with the index controllers that I'm using right now. Although I can also press the lower button, which I think it's, yeah, it's the A button, opening, closing it. And I have my other A button opening my facet anchors on my arms. But the uh, respawn, which is like another way of respawning, say you can't access your menu, you can just put both of your controllers next to you, hold at least one grab button or both, and then hold the buttons that open your radio menu at the same time. And then your controllers will vibrate and then you will respawn. Now, in order to leave a world, you just simply put your controllers next to your head and hold both radio menu buttons. And your controllers will vibrate and then you get ejected out of the world. Now, for edit mode, actually, let's see if I can. Come on. Oh, is it because I'm in like this pose mode? Yeah, that was the case. Okay. Um, this right here is edit mode. It kind of shows your grab spheres, which is like where you can grab physical items. I think I grabbed something. Oh, yeah. And your lasers. Now you can also limit functionality of a world behind edit mode as well. You toggle this by, uh, come on, there we go. You toggle it by putting both controllers near your head and holding one of the radio buttons and double tapping the other. Come on, there we go. There's also another one which is the facet edit mode. I'm in seated mode, that's why I'm kind of floating. There we go. uh, this facet edit mode is to edit your UI. Actually, I could even showcase it using this thing right here. You can customize your dashboard within Resonite. For example, in this case, I basically made mine look like Windows 98. But each one of those pieces of UI is a modular piece that can be sized into different scales if you set it up like that. You can create your own user interfaces within Resonite. And holding one of the dashboard buttons and double tapping the other will open up the UI edit mode. And it'll bring up a grid. You can also have a grid on your view as well. Say if you want any of these facets or pieces UI in your grid, say like your frame rate, you can do that as well. There's also grids or containers on your arms as well and hands. And those are facet anchors as they're called. I should probably add a thing for that in the future, for facet anchors. But yeah, that pretty much covers all the different gestures, hopefully. If not, then we're gonna have to add one more, couple more into the help tab. But we do have it under controls, VR gestures. There's also specific desktop controls as well too. And if people are wondering why does the text look quite weird, that's because I don't have the new locales, which are the translation files. By default, they'll look like this because these are like taglines telling specific lines of code what particular string to be displayed. That way, people can look at these text files that have literally every single piece of text listed for, like, say, all the official stuff and be translated for any language you want. For example, for English, it's like en.json, and say another one for like French, German, Japan, a whole bunch of different like languages and such. Technically, you could even take the newer one, drag and drop it, override the current one within Resonite, and it'll just update live. Odd tracking. I do see another question from Baplar, and I also am wondering how long has this stream been up, too, out of curiosity. I see, we're just over an hour. So, uh, is the bring hands to head part only necessary for Vive ones? For some of these gestures, they work for any gesture. You have to, like, for any of the gestures that require it, you have to bring it close to your head. Because they like even for the Vive ones or the index controllers I'm using, they still work. And I still need to use that for edit mode. Even though technically you can turn on edit mode in your dashboard, you can turn it on and off there. But for me, I have like a button dedicated for the dashboard and a button dedicated for my facet anchors. So it's kind of like a redundancy. That's why you can do both. I know some people like change the bindings within Steam bindings. Say if you want to change the jump from, say, your thumbstick to something else like the A button, at that point you can use these gestures to open up like your dashboard instead. That's another thing too, because I know, well, these thumbsticks don't last as much. Sometimes they do, though. It's strange. You might get lucky and get a pair or a single controller that'll just last even no matter what you do, clicking it constantly over and over again. That's why I have two spares. Sets of spares. I accumulated over time. So, uh, what? Actually, question for you, Bappler. What controllers do you use? Because it might be the case where you can open it via the radio menu next to your head as well as an extra button. Because I know the same thing with the A button on the index controllers, it's the same on Quest in your case as well. As Lucas points out, yep, if you have a special button to open a dash, you can open the dash. But if you put your controller next to your head and press the context menu specifically, it will open your dash as well. Like I said, redundancy. And when we want to make sure that people can use this platform even with something like the uh, Vive ones. Please put more controllers on VR manufacturers out there, or buttons, or just gloves. We'll make them work. I know there's some gloves out there we're playing around with. Direct gloves looks pretty good. Same with the flip controller with the glove attachment. Both of those look pretty neat. Although I think what VR needs desperately is a better face and eye tracking solution. This headset no longer is for sale that I'm using. Vibro Eye. I'm just going to quickly rant that caused it to skyrocket in price and be rare. And the software is no longer supported and causes issues at times. And it definitely is taking a lot of my CPU. Vive Focus 3. Yeah, a lot of those controllers are pretty much the same in regards to layout. It seems that even the leaked Deckard controllers look a lot like the Quest Pro controllers. Although, who knows, that might be just a red herring that Valve just gave to troll people. Deckard when. Although I did order the big screen Beyond headset with the eye tracking. And I also ordered a Babble mouth tracker as well. So I'm waiting for both the next batch of the Babble mouth tracker to come out and the the big screen Beyond. That'll be much easier on my neck, but also interesting to see the visuals. Ah, the XR Elite. I'm curious on if they improved the software for face and eye tracking. So I know it was a little bit like early when they first released it, and there was like bugs here and there, but I do hope they go through and like improve it over time. After using an original 5 used for 5 years that gave it and got a Valve Index. Valve Index is pretty good in regards to audio quality. Right now, I'm not using the original Vive microphone. If I switch to the Vive microphone, I might increase a few octaves in pitch. Let's just say that. Or decrease as a rare occurrence. Focus Vision has built-in eye tracking. I'm not sure if we have that implemented yet, but a lot of like the development bandwidth is pretty much splitting. We're almost there. We do want to implement more hardware over time and support for all these things. It's just a matter of time and priority. Like, because I know not only that, but I'd like to also eventually be able to use, say, the headset that I ordered, the big screen beyond eye tracking, the 2E version. Mm. There just needs to be more like face and eye tracking solutions out there. Like at least eye tracking. Because face tracking, Babel pretty much got it. It's an open source thing. You can either build it yourself and run their software, or spend like $100 to, oh man, get something that's 3D printed on a PCB, or a PCB put in a 3D printed shell. It's just a webcam with like an infrared light or two, and then you can make a custom mount or order a custom mount for like the different headsets out there, and then mount it on your headset. That pretty much is a good solution, and that it could probably like evolve over time with like better cameras that people use or software. Same with the eye track VR open source solution for eye tracking. Uh, Man, like if I were able to use that over this software right now, Ceratipal, that would be good. That way I can use less of my CPU and give that more to Resonite for those using the Vive Pro I in Resonite currently in this version of Resonite before the splitting optimizations feels the pain of their CPU being strangled by both Resonite and their headset eye tracking and face tracking. Even earlier today, I had a point where I was like, I logged into Resonite, my eye tracking broke. Okay, I'm gonna just restart Steam. It's still broken. I restart Steam in my computer. My fingers are broken, but my eye tracking works. And then I did it all again. And now I'm here. I don't know. Either there's a solar flare someday flipping a bit somewhere in my computer, or it just didn't like me today. I'm gonna stop ranting. Uh, but it was good for its time. The this is still one of the best face and eye tracking solutions out there. In regards of like both feature wise, like its fidelity, latency. Meta, why did you not add full tongue tracking and like pupil dilation and all that? If I remember technically too, your eyes in the Quest Pro are technically following each other or like following one eye. So you can't really cross your eyes, but I can. I don't know. They have the hardware. Well, I think I should definitely start winding down this stream now. There's some stuff I still have to help out and look for those screenshots for the tutorial world to showcase the dashboard and rendezvous with Ravy tonight to see if there's anything else that we need to do to prep for the split miss or the splitting, whatever we'll call it or people call it. But I hope everyone here has a wonderful night, day, morning, evening, wherever you are. Every single Wednesday we do this stream for the art team. There's also on Sunday, Fuchs, or well, first Uh, there's the moderation office hours with Prime and or man today. Ah, Veer and Get do the moderation office hours on Sundays, as well as Frooks and Cyro does the Resonance podcast office hours also on the same day, a bit after, probably like 2 hours after, if I recall. And on Tuesday, Prime does their primetime office hours on Discord instead of Twitch. And of course, the art team does their office hours on Wednesday around the same time, 5 p.m. CST, US Central. And yeah, I'll see you on most likely the splittening build and with more frames and chaos. Probably chaos because of the amount of things you can do without dying, performance wise. Alright, y'all have a good one. Bye bye. Bye.